It is September the 18th, and we have a Woodstock City Council meeting coming up this Thursday night on the 20th. Not an overly large agenda this week as Mayor Pat Sobeski joins us, but we are getting a visit from MPAC. Usually, we're not too fond of MPAC, but our fourth year has come up here and some reassessments. Do you guys at the municipal level, do you get kind of an early preview of what's going to be coming with this report?
Not really. I've seen a report that's indicated that across Ontario, the average price for the reassessment, housing is going up about 7%. And that's what the number was for London. And when they had London, they included sort of Middlesex and Oxford in that number. Windsor came in flat. I think parts of the GTA above Toronto were 15%. So you're hearing these approximate numbers. Apparently, farmland is going up 30%. So those are some of the numbers you hear, but we won't know the specific ones. People won't know their specific assessments because they're now being mailed out basically between now and over the next 2 months. So we're not even sure. I'm not sure if they'll come to Woodstock in one fell swoop or whether they'll be spread through Woodstock over that 2-month period, but people will be receiving their reassessment notice.
Well, I guess we'll find out Thursday night when MPAC visits. We've heard the warning about farmland certainly going way up. Do you have a gut feeling, though, about Woodstock? Do you think we'll average in maybe with London around that 7%?
I would expect. I mean, the key thing people have to ask themselves is what was my house valued in 2008 and what was it valued in the beginning of 2012? And you talk to real estate agents who you think would have a good handle on it. And 10% seems to be the high. There's a lot thinking that maybe certain residential neighborhoods have stayed flat. So I think on average, though, because of it'll be 7% across the 7%, probably very good. But there'll be parts of town that will see a 2% increase, and there'll be parts of town that'll see 10. It depends on the market, sales, and everything else. But it will be explained by MPAC when they come in on Thursday, and they'll have a better sense as to what it's all about. And the key thing is how your assessment rates against similar type houses in the city of Woodstock. What
about industrial? Are there any concerns or red flags there?
Not that I'm aware of. Generally speaking, in the last 4 years, because of the recession, the industrial assessment has stayed flat on existing premises. So we've only seen increases because new ones have been built, but that's been few and far between. But basically on commercial and industrial, it's stayed flat over the last 4 years.
Okay, we'll find out more about that Thursday night. One of the other big things, I guess, on the agenda, Pat, would be Paratransit changes continuing there, and it looks like you're ready to hire a dispatch service.
Yes, we've been doing a paratransit study. We want to make sure that the long-term costs are sustainable. And one of the key points that came in from the consultant was the city of Woodstock, in running the paratransit program, we were the only municipality that didn't have a dispatch service. And so as a result, our ridership numbers were significantly higher than other communities. And so we decided that a dispatch service was required. It helps consolidate rides, and the contract will be awarded to Red Cross locally. It's just under $80,000. They have the processes, they have the staff in place, but they also have the software that will accommodate the needs of the city of Woodstock. So it was an open bidding process. Four companies, organizations bid, and we're pleased that Red Cross is doing the service, and they're also locally based too.
Now, the whole point of changing the paratransit system that we had was to try and rein in the costs because they were, escalating as time went on. Now we're spending an extra $80,000 for dispatch. In the end, are we going to be saving money here?
In the long term, we will. I think one of the key things that's happening is with the Accessibility Act, you have to provide the same level of service that you provide on a conventional bus. So starting 2013, I could go buy for a monthly fee a pass on a bus, which would give me unlimited rides. Well, that same program has to be also provided for people with accessibility issues. And so for a flat fee, they would get unlimited rides. So by having the dispatch service, it allows us to control the number of people who are using it. It doesn't really matter if they they call up if they've been approved, whether they need it to go to church, go to the doctors, or just go down to the convenience store to pick up a pack of smokes. That's their choice. We can't be gatekeepers of that. But what we want to try and do is make greater advantage of the paratransit vehicles that we have. The city's gone out and purchased 2 brand new ones. So we want to steer more of the rides to the paratransit services and have fewer rides through the private taxi business. But the taxi will still be a key component of the program.
And your new paratransit, there's another bus coming?
Well, the bus that we have now is a 2006 model, and it's on its last legs. So the city, we've ordered 2 buses, and they're expected, delivery is expected any time, certainly before the end of the year.
All right, sounds great. So those are the 2 key issues. Also, if you want to learn more about Christmas lights in the downtown, that is an issue. I think it's too early to be talking about Christmas lights, but not too early for Woodstock City Council, right, Pat?
No, we got to get by Halloween first before we worry about Christmas.
But it will be on the agenda. You have to watch for it Thursday night at Woodstock City Council. Thanks, Pat.
You're welcome.